Hi, I'm Hannah Cornelielsen, and I'm going to talk a little bit about gymnastics and how I became a gymnast and how my story of gymnastics kind of is. So I found a love for gymnastics at a very young age. I was 3 years old, and I quit when I was 7 because I just had some other interests that I wanted to do. So about 5th grade year, I found my love for gymnastics again, and there was a girl at our school. She was new, and she was a gymnast, and she was doing some of the skills at a dance, and that's what really kind of kicked it back. So in 6th grade, I started doing a rec class, and the competitive coaches saw me doing some of the skills, and they wanted me to be on their competitive team. They had to convince me a lot because I kept saying no. And they finally convinced me, and I started doing competitive gymnastics through 7th and 8th grade. But it's my 8th grade year, and due to COVID-19, I had to stop doing it for now. So that's kind of my story about doing gymnastics. So now I'm going to show you how I learned some of the skills.
Okay, so there's a formula going, so I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to show how I learned my back handspring. So the first thing that I had to learn was how to set, so I just did this and I would jump back, and I did that several times, so you just have to learn how to set and stuff. So then the next thing is trusting yourself to be able to fall backwards. So how I learned to do that was jump onto my back, this part of my back, because if you jump on this part of your back, you can hurt yourself. So you have to jump here. So I would set back and I would jump to my back. And then I would keep doing that until I trusted myself to actually do the skill. And while you're doing the skill, you want to know that you are going to be strong and tight through your arms so they don't bend, so you don't hurt your head. So to do that, I would push my arms against something sturdy or have somebody press down on my arms to be able to do that. So the next thing that I did was I would have my mom hold my back, or I would stack pillows. So I would trust myself a little more to do the skill. So the real next step is to actually do the skill. So I'm just gonna do it. And that's how I learned how to do a back handspring. So after you learn a back handspring, you can do a back tuck. It's pretty much the same thing without using your hands. So you set like you would. So and you just kind of throw it. But it helps a lot if you jump into it when you're first learning it. So I just kind of chucked it the first few times I did it. So I would jump and I would just go, and I would have my hands out just in case I chickened out or whatever. So I did that a few times, just to make sure that I was actually going for the skill. So after I did that a few times, I did it with my hands not helping, or whatever you want to call it. And then the skill is there. So that's really all.
Now I'm going to talk about the competitive side of gymnastics. This is my competition Leo. It is being retired though, because every 2 years they get a new Leo. And this one's kind of like a disco ball, and I love it. But so practicing for a competition, we have 6 months of just practicing without any competitions, and then 6 months of competing. The first month of the competitive season, there's usually only one, and it's kind of like a pre-season meet. So you can just kind of get the feel of competing again. But us practicing, we practice 3 days a week, and each of those practices are 4 hours long. We practice every event, bars, beam, floor, and vault. We do a lot of conditioning to make ourselves stronger so we can compete our skills better. So at a competition, you know, you have to get the hair perfect and stuff so it doesn't fly everywhere. So this is similar to the competition hairstyle, it's just usually a little better, and I usually wear a bow, but I'm not wearing that because I don't like the bow. But, so when we compete, the car ride and arriving at the competition is always the hardest part for me. I don't know why, I just get really stressed out before a competition, which is normal. But to kind of help myself stop thinking about the bad stuff, I think about good things that could happen, because usually when I think about things going wrong, it usually does go wrong. And when I think about things going great, it goes great. I have good competition when I have a good positive mindset. So I usually lift myself up in the car and when I get there, but when I get there, I truthfully am a nervous wreck. But once I find my teammates, I usually settle down. But our coaches are always late to competitions. So like 5 minutes before open warm-up, they will show up and we will all be like, thank goodness you are here. There was one time where it was 1 minute before we started warming up and we were all freaking out because we don't know what to do. So yeah, when you compete all 4 events, bars, beam, floor, and vault, and you start on any event. You can start on any of the events. So you can be in Flight A or Flight B. Flight A goes first, Flight B goes after that. So you compete, you salute the judge like this. When you start, when they lift their hands and say your name, you salute to them. And then when you finish the skill, you also salute. I have forgotten to salute before. It was kind of embarrassing, but you know, it happens. So you do that to all 4 events, and then you have awards, which takes forever. Competitions take about 3 to 4 hours. Usually they're 4 hours because of awards. Awards are just they're long because there's so many age groups. So now I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite medals. So I like this medal. I don't really like the medal itself, but I really did like the competition. I got to compete with the new girl that came to our school that got me into gymnastics. I got to compete with her. That was really fun, and I got first place on all the events that day. So that was Flipping Fiesta. And then I really like this medal from Make-A-Wish. I just think it's really cool. It has like a gymnast here, and I don't know, it's kind of cool to me. So now we're going to show you some of my competition clips. So here they are.